You're sick of constantly feeling tired. You wake up in the morning, and when you have to think about everything you have to do that day, you've just got this pit of dread in your stomach. You can't even begin to think about functioning until you've had your coffee. After your morning coffee, you go to work. When you come home, you'd love nothing more than to start a new skill, learn a new hobby, put time into building a good new habit like reading or meditation. But you just don't have the effort. No matter what you do, after that morning coffee wears off, all you want to do is lie on the sofa and scroll on your phone. The reason for this lack of energy is down to your sleep. More specifically, the amount of sleep you get in and the quality of it. It's not good enough, but this video will help you change that by introducing you to some quality of life changes you can make today to improve your sleep and the quality of it. Let's get into it.
Fuck a pigeonhole.
In this video is all me, no bullshit AI, so let's get into it, you little beast.
I'm a night owl, it's a different mode.
Call me a psychic, but I'm willing to bet that you're watching this lying in bed on your phone. And before anything else in this video, you need to stop that. Your bed should be for two things: sleeping, and you can guess the other one. If you're using your bed for playing PS5 on Call of Duty, or scrolling TikTok on your phone, or watching Netflix, or even working if you work remotely, all of these things need to stop, because by doing these things in your bed, your brain starts to associate your bed with doing these things and not sleeping. And this is the reason why your brain might be like racing at night, even though it's time to go to sleep. You know you're tired, but you just can't, and your brain feels restless. Then it might be due to this. So please, brother, please just get up. Keep the video on, obviously, but get up and go downstairs. Just watch it anywhere that isn't your bed. After you've done this, you need to set two things. You need to set a bedtime and a wake up time. You need to stick to these no matter what day of the week it is. This is because your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock, needs to get used to a time, a constant scheduled time that you wake up and you go to sleep. And all of your energy levels throughout the day are dependent on this circadian rhythm. So if your bedtime and your wake time are constantly changing, your body doesn't know what to do with itself. So you need to set a wake time and a sleep time that are around 8 hours apart from each other. Obviously, everyone has a different amount of time that they prefer to sleep for. For example, I operate best on 8.5 hours sleep, so I would set mine 8.5 hours sleep apart from each other. But just be realistic. Don't be one of those people who's like, oh, 8 hours, that's so much. I can function off 4 hours sleep. 5 hours sleep does me perfect. It just doesn't, mate. You might be able to function off that. I can function off that. But functioning and operating at a high level are two completely different things. So be realistic with this, and if you don't know your prime optimal amount of sleep, then just set it at 8 hours, just to be safe. So now those things are out the way, we're going to split this video into 3 sections. We're going to set it as before you go to bed, we're going to set it the morning you wake up, and then after this we're going to set some like troubleshooting issues to help you if all my other tips don't work.
Western road flows, I did this shit.
The first before bed tip I have for you is to follow the 3-2-1 rule. And the 3-2-1 in this rule indicate the 3 hours is you shouldn't eat after 3 hours before you go to bed. You shouldn't drink 2 hours before you're about to go to bed. And you shouldn't go on your phone for 1 hour before bed. The eating is because if your body's still digesting food when it's time to go to sleep, this will keep you up. And this is also how you wake up through the night with like indigestion and stuff. The 2 hours for drinking is because if you're drinking too close to bedtime and your body doesn't have time to fully process all this fluid, and you don't have time to get rid of all the waste through going to the toilet, then your body will just wake you up in the middle of the night because you need to go to the toilet. So that will in turn affect the quality of your sleep because you'll be waking up and nobody wants that. So don't drink for 2 hours before you're about to go to bed. And the 1 hour phone use before you're about to go to bed is because using your phone or just any artificial light for that matter, so it could be bulbs or it could be screens, whether it's phones or TVs if you're watching Netflix, these all radiate blue light, which when they go into your eyes, they keep your mind running, because I think they like trick your body into thinking that there's like it's like light, it's like daytime. So it's so important that you minimize blue light at least an hour before you go to bed, but preferably longer. furthermore, using your phone an hour before you go to bed is gonna keep your mind running and operating. So that's not what you want when you try to wind down to go to sleep. So again, just minimize the phone at least an hour, but preferably longer. Following on from this is if you have to use screens or your phone or keep the lights on for close to bedtime before an hour, then I would recommend you get some blue light blocking glasses, like these bad boys, for example. Blue light blocking glasses, they do what they say on the tin, really. They block blue light from entering your eyes. These are like professional ones that engineers would use, people who work with lasers, to protect your eyes from lasers. So you know they're good at blocking out light. I found these when I was researching the best blue light blockers to get. I found this like Reddit thread, and I'll share that with you in the top link of the description. In this Reddit thread, somebody reviewed like all the blue light blocking glasses you can get online, and I think they rated these definitely in the top 5, maybe number 3. I'm not sure, but yeah, blue light blocking glasses are great because they block out basically all the blue light. So blue light from screens or whatever else won't affect your sleep. The next tip I've got is to take magnesium glycinate an hour before you go to sleep. Taking magnesium glycinate an hour before you go to sleep will give you the best night's sleep you've ever had every night. It'll send you into this deep sleep. I started doing this about 2 months ago and I've never looked back. I think it's about £8 for like a little. I think mine was £8 for a capsule, for 120 capsules in this little tub. So it's worth it, you know. So it's worth it. If you don't like it or it doesn't work for you, then you've only lost £8. But the chances are it will work for you because it works for me and loads of other people I know. The next 2 tips are about your room. So the first is to make sure your room's cold. I don't know what it is about the heat, but me personally, I know I can't sleep in a hot room, and I think scientifically it is the best environment for your body to fall asleep when the room's cold and you get into a warm duvet. And furthermore, it's also important that your room's pitch black. So turn all the lights off in your room. No, like fucking night lights. If you've got a light on outside your bedroom, then turn that off and close the door. Just do whatever you can to make your room pitch black. I'll take these off now. I don't know why I've still got them on. You sort of get used to seeing everything in red and you forget you've got them on. It's made everything look a strange colour now. But yeah, obviously, you know, if your body sees any light in the room, then it'll think it's daytime and it'll think it should stay up. It'll keep your mind operating. So it's important to just make your room as black as you can. The next tip leads on from this, and if you can't make your room dark for whatever reason, or alternatively you live on a busy street, or there's a street lamp outside your window, or there's always cars driving past your room late at night, or you've got busy neighbours who are constantly making noise, then invest in some silicone earbuds, and an eye mask. Preferably, I've got a 3D one so it doesn't rest against your eyes because I don't like that pressure on your eyes. But it's just about finding whatever works for you. If you can afford something nicer, get something nicer. If you can't, then just get one of the cheap, shitty hotel ones. That'll do, just to block out light and to block out sound. Even if you know that you live in a fairly quiet street and your room's like, you know, dark, it just gives you that assurance that you won't be bothered whilst you're sleeping, and that alone can just perfectly prep your mind ready for bed. You never know if there's like going to be a police helicopter flying about looking for somebody making loads of noise, and it might wake you up in the night. So, you know, earplugs and an eye mask will prevent this from happening. And my last tip is, for the last hour before you go to sleep, set aside that hour to do some GABA promoting activities. And these include meditation, breath work, reading, anything that isn't like relying on a screen, stuff that will just like send your body to sleep. I know that it takes me 15 minutes to go to sleep. So say I'm trying to go to sleep at 10, I'll try and go to sleep at 9:45. So at 9, I'll meditate, I'll do breath work, and I'll read until 9:45. When 9:45 hits, that's when I'll try and go to sleep. And this is a good little routine to get into, because it'll eventually train your brain into knowing that, oh, it's meditation time, that means it's time to go to sleep soon. So that when it comes to winding down and getting into bed, your brain will know, okay, I've done my meditation, I've done my reading, done my breath work, lights out, it's bedtime. So that's all the before bed tips. Now for the morning tips when you first wake up.
For my nigga Rennie, back when we couldn't buy pizza because we were down to
And the first of these is when you first wake up, it's so important to drink a massive glass of water to get your energy levels back. And this is because, you know, you've just been asleep for around 8 hours. Longer if you follow the 3-2-1 rule. Since you've had a drink, it'll be 10 hours if you sleep for 8 hours and then the 2 hours before bed that you don't drink for. So it's been 10 hours since your body's had any fluid. So it's so important that you replenish these fluids to get your energy levels back. I don't know about you, but when I have a massive glass of water, if I'm feeling a bit dehydrated, I'll just get all my energy back. And this is especially important in the morning. So what I do is get a massive glass of water, maybe 2 glasses of water, and sprinkle some salt in, because you lose salt from your body whilst you're sleeping, from sweating and other things, and breathing as well. And sprinkling salt in your water just helps to get those natural electrolytes back into your body that you've lost throughout the night. The next is, I'll link two together. So it's so important to get morning sunlight in the morning. And this is again referring back to what I mentioned earlier, your circadian rhythm. Getting morning sunlight in the morning into your eyes makes your body, it's like, makes your internal body clock know, okay, this is daytime now. And then it knows when nighttime is as a result of this. So the earlier you get sunlight in the day, the earlier when your body starts to notice that it's dark, it'll make you tired and it'll make sure you sleep better on the night. If you just sit in a dark room all day long, then your body, your circadian rhythm will struggle to know when it's bedtime and when it's wake time. So the earlier you get morning sunlight, the better for you. And I tie this to, for the first hour of the day, make sure you don't use your phone. And instead, I would recommend going for a morning walk so you can get your morning sunlight in. And the reason I say not to use your phone for the first hour of the day is because when you first wake up in the morning, your dopamine levels are really low, which is why when you wake up, you dread the day, you dread any hard things that you might have in the day because your body doesn't have any dopamine. So you seek out pleasurable activities first thing in the morning. But by doing these, by partaking in pleasurable activities such as using your phone that give you unnatural amounts of dopamine, it'll just make anything else that follows it the rest of the day just feel worthless, feel meaningless. All productivity will just be killed. You won't want to go to the gym, you won't want to go to work, you won't want to do anything if you sit and scroll on TikTok first thing in the morning. So I'd just recommend avoiding that. Getting out, going for a walk, getting your morning sunlight in and getting your steps in. Whilst we're on the topic of banning things first thing in the morning, this is going to be a touchy subject for a lot of you watching, but coffee. For the first 90 minutes of the day, do not drink any caffeine. No coffee, no energy drinks if you drink them in the morning because you're a crackhead. Cut it all out for the first 90 minutes. And this is because the system in your body that processes caffeine hasn't woke up for at least 90 minutes to 2 hours. And by drinking coffee before the system has woken up, that will cause you to have a caffeine crash later on in the day at around 12. And that'll just write you off for the rest of the day. That is why around 12, you probably start to feel so tired because you're crashing. So after an hour and a half, go ham. Have as much coffee as you want. But for the first 90 minutes, cut it off. Also, whilst we're on the topic of coffee, have a caffeine cut-off point for the day. Mine is 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, I have no caffeine. You should do the same because caffeine, it takes about 8 hours for it to wear off. And if you're drinking it at 4 o'clock, 4 add 8 is 12. Quick maths. And that means you won't be able to get a proper night's sleep until like 12 o'clock at night. But if you want to go to sleep at 10, that will affect the first couple of hours, quality of your sleep. So I would have a caffeine cut-off point. I'd make it 12 o'clock. You also need to stop snoozing your alarm. Self-explanatory. The more you snooze the alarm, the harder it is to wake up in the morning. And it just makes you late for everything. You need to get up straight away. Stay up. No sleeping in. Stick to your wake-up time, as we mentioned earlier. Another thing you should do that will completely wake you up is having a shower in the morning. Now, not a cold shower, just any shower you want. And the reason I don't say have a cold shower is because cold showers are great for the first 2 hours. Who showers for that long? 2 weeks, because they're hard. They're so hard for the first 2 weeks. But after them 2 weeks, they become quite easy, in my opinion. And this defeats the whole purpose of a cold shower, because a cold shower is hard. Without the hardness of a cold shower, then what is the point of doing it? Because for me personally, I don't feel clean after you have a cold shower. I think that it's like doing the dishes. If you wash dishes, no matter how much soap you use, if you wash dishes with cold water, the cold water will not kill the grease on those dishes, so that they don't feel clean afterwards. And I think a cold shower is the same. So a cold shower isn't necessary. Just have any shower, because it wakes you up. It wakes me up, and it's great. I'd say a little routine to do first thing in the morning is wake up, fuck your phone off after the alarm goes off. Don't even open it. Put it in the drawer or something. Go for a walk. Get your morning sunlight in. Take a bottle of water with you with some salt in. Get your morning liquids, and then when you come back, jump in the shower. Bish bash bosh. You'll feel woken up at the end of this little ritual. And finally, I'd say to take vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Almost all of the population, especially in the UK here where I live, is vitamin D deprived, especially in winter where there's barely any sun. So you should be taking vitamin D3 and vitamin K2, which helps your body take in the vitamin D3 better every day. But the reason I say you should be taking it in the morning after you wake up is because if you take it too late in the day, I'm not sure, for whatever reason, it affects your sleep. It affects my sleep if I take it after 4 o'clock. So it is important that you take it first thing in the morning.
Down to pennies. Feel like we go back a century, run to the store for centuries.
If you aren't tired when it comes to bedtime, there are a few reasons for this. The first is you might not be exerting yourself enough. If you aren't training, like going to the gym or running, then you aren't tired enough, especially if you work an office job through the day. So it's so important that you get 10,000 steps to exert yourself physically, so you're tired enough to get to sleep on the night. Another reason you might not be tired on the night is if you're napping. Simple as, don't nap. No matter how tired you are, just firm it. Stay awake. You're not 60-year-old, mate. You're probably 20 to 30-year-old. So stay up. Fuck the nap off. You don't need it. Another one is drinking caffeine too close to bed, which we've just covered. That's a big no-no. And throughout the day, if you still feel low energy, some more things to consider could be shit diet. If your diet's shit, you won't have any energy. Simple as. So you need to start eating properly. Not drinking enough water. As I said earlier, when I have water, I just feel so much more energized, but most of the UK is dehydrated. So try drinking a massive glass of water and see how you feel after half an hour. Another reason is you might not be training. Contrary to what a lot of people think, the more you train, the more energy you have naturally throughout the day, because your body needs to have energy to be able to do all this training. So especially on your days off, you have abundance of energy. And finally, you don't have a purpose. Everybody needs a purpose. And if you don't have one, then you'll just feel low energy, because you won't have anything to put your energy towards. And that's it. I hope that helped. I love you lots, brother. I'll see you in a bit. See you later. Peace.